Good morning to a windy Sea of Galilee. Last night the winds were howling and the waves were crashing, and brought to mind the gospel story of the disciples out in a boat with Jesus. And the waves rose and they were afraid, and Jesus calmed the storm. All right, we got our driver David back.
Good morning.
Yay, David. And we're all ready to go.
Who are glorified in your sayings, and who inspired the monk and hermit Charbel to follow Jesus heroically in poverty, chastity, and obedience. We beg you the grace to love and serve you as he did.
But we wanted to show you something very unique and special, and that is the only source of water in Nazareth during the time of the Holy Family. The only source of water was the spring that we're going to go see, and it was 15 minutes walk away from the village.
In the heart of
We're arriving in Nazareth.
of mountains that surround the city. I don't know if you can spot at this point, maybe not, but the Basilica of the Annunciation with a cone-shaped type of structure.
School. This is where I grew up, and all the kids that go to school here are part of a club.
Amr is explaining that he went to school here in Nazareth. Amr is explaining that this is a relatively recent building called the Well of Mary, but the water that comes from there is actually coming from inside a Greek Orthodox church above, which we're going to visit. It was built over that spring, which then the water used to come out here and was called the Well of Mary. We're now arriving at the Greek Orthodox Church of the Annunciation, and this church has inside of it the spring that Mary went to every day to get water. This was out in the open, obviously, during Mary's time. Here's the water from the spring. Here's our folks now coming down to the well, to the spring. And the water flowed around the altar, and it also filled the trench around the altar with water. At the time of the evening sacrifice, Elijah the prophet came near and said, "O Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, today let it be known that you are the God in Israel, and I am your servant, and I have done all these things at your command. Answer me, O Lord, answer me." Then the fire of the Lord fell from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and consumed the wood. It even consumed the stones and the dust, and the fire licked up the water that was in the trench. The Kishon River, where Elijah slew the 450 prophets of Baal. We drove through downtown Haifa and up to Stella Maris, but first saw the Baha'i Gardens. Arriving at the Church of Stella Maris, the Star of the Sea, which is Mary, headquarters of the Carmelites. Inside is a cave where Elijah knelt down and prayed for rain, and it's also a place where people come and they pray. Here's a statue of Elijah, and it says over the cave, Elijah the Tishbite, and it's where people pray, and many miracles have taken place, so we all stop there for a time of prayer. A lot of biblical and celestial images here in the ceiling dome. My favorite, Elijah's assumption into heaven.
Holy Land might get the Carmel.
Here we are arriving at the top of the Mount of Carmel, the Murhaka mountain, Murhaka, where Elijah called down fire from heaven. We're arriving up here at the Carmelite monastery, and we're going to have Mass. In a restroom, and then we're going to go to Mass here at the Carmelite monastery. We're going to have Mass inside there. And I always love, this is where Elijah called down fire from heaven, right here on top of this mountain. We'll see the panoramic view in a minute. And this is a statue of Elijah with his sword coming down to kill the prophets of Baal, 450 of them. Great image there of Elijah, a prophet. Elijah the Tishbite.
Is a sign of the motherly love of the Virgin Mary, which reminds us of her care for the members of the Carmelite family, especially in moments of great need. It is a love which seeks a reciprocal love. This scapular is a sign of communion with the order of the Brothers of the Blessed Virgin Mary.
It's windy today, but there's Nazareth. There's Mount Tabor. Jezreel Valley. Mediterranean Sea's right over there. On a clear day you can see it. Mount Tabor and Nazareth. You look right there. There is Nazareth. Here we are zoomed in on a freeway juncture. This shows you how high we are up on the mountain as I zoom back out from the top. We are very high. The Druze restaurant, and we got our choices of schnitzel or falafel in a sandwich, a drink, and then they have all these nice salads to choose from. And this is a Druze restaurant, and everyone is having another Druze lunch, like we did the falafel and the shawarma. These are real authentic tombs on the side of the road. You can even see the stone that was rolled in front of the tomb. These are very much like Jesus's. These are authentic tombs right on the side of the road. We're on our way to Acre now, the Crusader city. And to our left, we're coming along. We were just up on top, and now we're going along the Carmel mountain range. There's the Mediterranean Sea.
The Carmel mountains really come all the way to the Mediterranean.
And there's the Carmel mountains.
And
this is where Stella Maris is in Haifa, where we just came from. Getting off the bus, we're here at Acre. There's the Israeli flag flying proudly here in Israel. And we're going in the entrance to Acre right here to the site of the Crusaders' halls. The secrets of Acre. We're now walking through the Hall of the Crusader Knights, underground here. Beautiful place. This is a cool game the Crusaders played. You put a steel ball in his mouth, and then you have to pull those two and pull that up without it going into any of those holes until you get to the top. These are huge stones for the catapult. Going through the tunnels.
Duck your head. Thank you.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us.
We're getting off the bus in Upper Nazareth. Nafha Galil is the new name. Here comes Amar's daughter and her husband John, and there's Elijah, and there's Tala. Oh, you're pretty today, Tala. This is Amar's grandchildren, and they've invited us to come to their house to have dinner tonight. So we're going to the home of a real Palestinian Christian Catholic family for dinner. Amar's own house. Looking out over the Jezreel Valley. Mount Tabor's right over there too. Here we enter paradise. There's a cedar of Lebanon right there. Look at the tables they have set up here.
Amazing.
Look what they have set up, tables up there. All the food over here. Look at this. That's huge salmon. And all of the Pelo Maima. Wow, look at all the foods. Oh, cauliflower. All the special foods that she made just for our. Yeah, here's the bar. Here's Philippe. Where's Patrick? There's Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Yeah. On behalf of the group and in cohorts with David, who brought this from Jerusalem, he had to get a special friend to open his shop. But he helped us pick them. I want to give on
Black
behalf
tulip,
of our whole group, give
flam.
them bottles of wine. And Steve?
And this is from the whole group as well, but this is special for Armin.
We appreciate your hospitality.
Thank you very
for
much.
inviting us.
Thank you. Thank you. Not expected, but thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Steve. Dr. Phil.
Wherever the Catholic sun doth shine, there's always food, fun, and good red wine. At least I've always found it so. Benedicamus Domino.
Amar is preparing the salmon with his granddaughter watching. We're thanking the chefs. It's Amar's sister. There are no words to describe what we experienced this evening sharing dinner with Amar's family in Nazareth. I am making a video of the whole dinner. Stay tuned.